Quiet spec, like nothing happened.
Hmm? What did you say?
Sitting quiet spec, like nothing happened.
The audio sounds.
Huh? What did you say, bitch?
I just hearing the audio. It doesn't sound delayed this time.
Was it delayed that whole time?
I think so. Like, I didn't hear it until I actually just turned on the volume.
Boss, this contract comes from the Mbele rebel militants. That's right. That general's fighters. Recently, one of their child
my
soldier
question
platoons
is,
staged
how are
an
they
insurrection
raped
and split from the
quiet
main
anyway?
group. Thing is, they
Could
took a
kill them
hostage
all.
with them.
She really
The
wanted
general's
to.
brother. His
She
number two.
cover
The
her with
contract is
clothes
to
and she
extract both that
suffocates and
prisoner
basically
and the leader of
dies.
the renegade platoon.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The message reads, I love
One
my brother.
weakness.
You must
Cloth.
bring him back to me alive.
Cloth on her
It
body.
also says this about the leader of the
Kojima.
child
Good
soldiers.
old Kojima.
He is an excellent soldier. I want to persuade him to rejoin the ranks of the righteous. Sounds a little too forgiving for the man who ordered those kids dead at the mine. I wonder what kind of persuasion the general has in store. With that in mind, here are your objectives. First, rescue and return the general's number 2 as requested. Second, extract the renegade leader, and we'll keep him at Mother Base. In other words, extract both targets out of the region. Good luck, boss.
I got so many cassette tapes probably now. What's quiet beating people up on the fucking Mother Base.
Your mission objectives are to extract the child soldier's commander and their captive, the general's number 2. This child soldier platoon decided to break away from the Mbele militants. They took the number 2 captive and have occupied an abandoned village. Start by checking that location on your map. Boss, the child soldiers will treat you as an enemy, but they're just kids. See that they don't get hurt. Be careful down there, boss. The White Mamba, Nyoka Yam Pembe. He's the commander of the kids based out of Wala Yamasa. As you know, contract forces of Africa were stationed at that village. Anti-government forces hired CRS to bring kids there from around Africa for training. But at some point, the adults with the PF started dropping like flies. This was right after we arrived in Africa. We don't know the cause. The kids ended up on their own. Must have been like fish.
Reconnaissance is best conducted from high vantage points. I've marked a good spot on your map. Take a look at your iDroid.
Sure they could shoot targets, but hunt for food? Not likely. They wouldn't have lasted long. Then the White Mamba showed up. He was faster and stronger than them, a better soldier, and he knew how to lead. I guess somebody wished upon a star, because their savior turned up like stardust straight out of the blue. The moment he arrived, the kids had their new commander. That was when they started attacking other villages. Word of the infamous White Mamba spread fast. But it isn't just his combat skills that got people talking. As you can tell from the name, he's the only light-skinned kid in the unit. Not to mention the blonde hair and the blue eyes. Not common in those parts. We have no idea where he came from or what he's experienced. The kid's a huge blank. But I'm sure you'll know him when you see him. One other thing. He's still a kid, so don't kill him. Be careful not to hit him with anything lethal. Not even a flesh wound. Our mission objective isn't just suppressing a bunch of militants. This is a DDR operation of the kids in that unit.
Here he is, the commander. Extract him.
And reintegration. Disarmament is obvious. We take their weapons off their hands. The demobilization part means dismantling their military organization to ensure they can't arm themselves again. To do that, you need to capture the unit's commander and have him order his men to disband. In this case, the commander is the White Mamba. There's nobody above him, so he's all we need to grab. Finally, reintegration. Through education and occupational training, we give them a means to live besides war. A lot of kids born in a war zone don't know any other way to live. So before they find themselves back there, we teach them another skill. I'd like to establish this rehabilitation process at Mother Base. That's why we're bringing those kids back here. It's not so much for their sake. It's for the world that we're trying to create. No other way about it. Those kids are amateurs. Bad for business to have them running around where we're trying to work. Bring them all back if possible. Or as many as you can.
Okay, that's the general's brother, his number 2. Get him out of there, boss. That's the target prisoner. He's injured. Looks half-starved, too. There's no way he can stand the shock of a Fulton extraction. Get him out by chopper. Another group of child soldiers. No, must be a squad they had out on patrol. Security will be tighter now. Watch yourself.
Pangi ya General ya Bakala Kilumbu Mosi Tata ya Bankaka na Mono Elaka Mono Mambu General Salaka Bantu ya Buta ya Mbele.
Boss, another child soldier has entered the village. Must have been out. Harder now. Watch yourself.
Bantu ya Buta ya Mbele Ketinkaka Mosi. Atampidina.
Don't hurt any of those kids. Disengage, or use your tranquilizer pistol, or CQC to put him down gently.
Did he say my prisoner died? Oh, okay, he's not dead. Jesus Christ.
I was just looking at it, yeah. So I thought it as well.
Atampidina. Ya Ikentangu.
Killing your prisoners, Robot. Called prisoners, not victims.
Oh, fuck, it's on a wave. This is gonna gonna happen again. Really? Oh, okay. Well, shoot, friend.
Better than that, Bob. You should have gotten caught.
Oh!
You really let that kid sneak up on you? Shoot the shit out of you?
Almost got you. How the fuck am I supposed to get all these kids? Is there a fucking...
You wanna know why they're so good at sneaking up at you? Sneaking up on you like that, Bob?
A little.
Yeah, because they blend in with the dark, but that's why.
Supply helicopter pickup.
Roger.
You know, I got a lot of running for it to do. Stay asleep. Yeah. Main target's awake.
I'm finding
This is Pequod. Arriving shortly at LZ. This is Pequod. Have arrived at LZ. Will stand by.
So I'm just gonna have to keep grabbing kids and going back and forth. That's all I'm gonna be able to do.
That's how child trafficking works, Bob.
I'm starting to wake up. If I had the fancy teleporter thing, I could just poof one gone. Are they really shooting at the helicopter? This little fucker woke up over here?
Yes, sir.
All that's left is to extract the commander.
Okay, so searching all the kids isn't like, maybe it's like 8 tasks doing just for that, but it's not all of it. There's so many of the little
Flawless
fuckers.
work. You never cease to amaze, boss.
Gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. Africans. Each one you catch, you gotta name after number. This one's Charizard, and this one's Jigglypuff. Yeah, that one's Ekans. Oh, that was a Nidoqueen using its pin missile on your face.
Holy fuck.
Wow, there's not fucking you, are they?
Let's go, dude. Motherfuckers.
Boss, what happened? Boss!
Well, I got half the targets out.
Extract the commander. You should be able to find out the commander's location by interrogating his boys. Another group of child soldiers. No, must be a squad they had out on patrol. Security will be tighter now. Watch yourself.
Oh, I can get a silencer right now? Like, what the fuck? Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, kids are killing me.
Don't hurt any of those kids. Disengage or use your tranquilizer pistol or CQC to put him down gently.
I'll put him down gently. Watch out, bitch! Oh. Yeah, you come here, come here, come here, come here. Oh, that bitch! Ow. Oh, 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 oh. Okay, my man.
Come here, just ganging up on your ass.
Look how fast that kid woke up. What the fuck is that shit?
Oh, Bob, I don't know if there's gunfire going on around me. A lot of shit like that, I might want to wake up quick as fuck.
One does not get tossed around by a snake and simply wake up.
Roger.
You like that, Flame? Fuck up.
What'd you do?
A bomb in Flame. Assuming guys.
This is B-Quad.
Looks like one didn't
Arriving
get it.
shortly at LZ.
A donkey!
Donkey.
Did I get a donkey? Donkey, I don't have any bullets. Get you.
This is B-Quad. On station at LZ.
I'll get in the helicopter.
You've completed your objective. Now get out of the hot zone. Gaining altitude.
Look at it quiet. Oh, look at it. Oh, look at it. Just look at it.
Okay, half her body was missing just now.
What happens if she moves her on the thing? She disintegrates.
You gonna
Okay,
extract him?
Bob. Serious question.
Mission
If you-
complete, boss.
Had to choose.
Okay. Choose.
Okay. Alright, so you have to choose to, no. I don't want to ask.
Boss.
Okay,
About how we
would you
report
rather
this
be
one to the
with a
client.
mermaid?
I'll tell them we took heavy
Top half
resistance from the
semen,
renegade
bottom
platoon.
half is
The
fish.
hostage was killed in the firefight.
Top half is fish.
Wait, I already know where you're going at this. I don't want
I
either.
doubt the client will pay
Come
us
on,
for this
Bob.
one.
You gotta,
We
you
got a
gotta,
big enough reward from the general's number 2 instead.
you
As for
have
the
to
number
pick
2,
one. Which one would you
he's
want?
saying he wants to join
I
Diamond
guess a
Dogs.
normal mermaid
Because he
clone,
knows
you
what
still
that
got
means
the
for him.
mouth.
He said, if I'm working for you, I can be number 2 or
You
number
can get away
200
from her
for all
pretty
I care.
He's just gonna go online.
2 valid points.
Well, I mean, I could see your argument.
Many of our staff are falling
I really
ill.
thought you'd go for the obvious one,
First it seemed like
where
a common cold, but
wouldn't have to
before we
worry
knew
about
it, blisters started
kids.
popping up on their chests, and
That too.
damn it.
That too.
I'll fill you in at the ACC. Just get in the chopper. Look closely. Those are the symptoms of the infection on Mother Base.
Oh, you got me
The
listening
blisters on the
closely.
body were full of tiny worms. Parasite larvae, most likely. But we couldn't find any adults. It doesn't seem to
What's
mature
going
in the
on
body.
here? What's he
like
looking at over there?
Sparganum. We don't know the root of infection
Infections.
or what causes symptoms to develop. Boss,
in the kid's
you
lungs.
remember seeing these symptoms before? The bodies floating around in the oil facility, the bedridden test subjects at the Devil's House. This epidemic looks just like what we've seen on our hunt for Cypher. So this is the weapon of mass destruction Cypher was working on in Africa. Boss, the situation is urgent. We need to quarantine the infected and contain the pathogen. Priority now is to prevent more casualties. But the problem is, how do we tell who's infected? During the incubation period, we have no way of knowing who's clean. You'll have to try and guess who's infected before they go symptomatic and quarantine them. That'd be easy if we just knew the route or vector of the infection. From now on, if you even suspect a staff member's infected, use your iDroid to order them into quarantine. Given the situation, the men won't submit to quarantine just because I or the medical team tell them to. But they will listen to you. Of course, it's just a temporary measure until we find a permanent solution. But at least they'd be in solitary isolation so they won't infect each other, and we get the mental care they need. If we do nothing, we'll only lose more people. We have no choice. Boss, open your iDroid.
God damn it. I
I'll
forgot.
explain how to quarantine staff members suspected of infection. Go to the Mother Base menu and select Staff Management. First, take a look at the quarantine facility we've set up. We'll isolate anyone who's already symptomatic at the quarantine facility. But we have to expect that there are multiple staff who are infected, but asymptomatic. So how do we identify them? At present, we have no way to tell them apart. But there has to be something for us to go on. If you notice anything, reassign staff you suspect are infected to the quarantine facility. We'll monitor them and then contact you if there's a change in their condition. Correctly quarantining these asymptomatic infected will reduce the number of new infections. You should continue with your missions as usual. If Cypher is behind this, going after them should help us determine the root cause of this epidemic. Also, until we identify the pathogen, we can't fire or dispatch any staff. We cannot let this thing spread. Boss, get to the bottom of this fast. We're counting on you. Boss, a new job's come in. It's a hit. On the human trafficker who sent Shabani and the others to Nzoya Badia Bulu, where you ran into Skullface. The thing is, this guy might know something about the disease that's going around Mother Base. The symptoms are similar to the ones we saw at that factory. Start by checking the mission details on your iDroid.
God damn it, it's gonna take me a minute to do that. So let's listen to some tapes.
Look closely. Those are the symptoms of the infection on Mother Base. The blisters on the body were full of tiny worms. Parasite larvae, most likely. But we couldn't find any adults. It doesn't seem to mature in the body, like a spargatum. We don't know the root of infection, or what causes symptoms to develop. The infection rate, along with the number of dead, are both on the rise. If we don't find the cause, and soon...
Boss, do you remember seeing these symptoms before? The bodies floating around in the oil facility? The bedridden test subjects at the Devil's House? This epidemic looks just like what we've seen on our hunt for Cypher. It could be a counterplay by Skullface.
That's insane. You mean they weaponize parasites?
Parasites as weapons. That definitely falls under the Biological Weapons Convention. But it's something the world would never see coming. And no one's ever developed a vaccine for parasites.
So this is the weapon of mass destruction Cypher was working on in Africa.
It may be. But if it is, how did the Yellow Cake and Walker Gears fit in? There must be something bigger we're not seeing. Anyway, our priority now is to prevent more casualties.
The medical team is studying the infection, but we can't treat anyone until we know the root cause. All we can do right now is halt the spread of infection.
Quarantine the staff you specified. Did you figure out what's causing the infection?
Okay, motherfucker, I need you to tell me... Thank you. Okay, so you... Quarantine. Quarantine. Oh, you are in quarantine. You need quarantine. You need quarantine.
Alright. We'll quarantine the staff you specified. Did you figure out what's
Oh, they
causing
need
the
a
infection?
quarantine. They have COVID.
If they speak a certain language, they're the ones that are spreading it. Quarantine.
Alright. We'll quarantine the staff you specified. Did you figure out what's causing the infection? Alright. We'll quarantine the staff you specified. Did you figure out what's causing the infection? Alright. We'll quarantine the staff you specified. Did you figure out what's causing the infection? Alright.
Jesus
We'll quarantine the
Christ.
staff you specified. Did you figure out what's causing the infection?
So many of them.
Why didn't you?
Alright. We'll quarantine the staff you
Why'd you
specified.
quarantine them though?
Did you figure out what's causing the infection?
Why am I?
Why didn't you? The first time. Silly goose.
You don't have to quarantine all of them. Only certain ones.
Well, you should have. You should have did that right away.
Alright.
Silly
That's what
boy.
I'm
Quarantine the staff you
Silly,
specified.
silly boy.
Did you
I'm
figure
going
out
through
what's
each
causing
one.
the infection?
Someone speaks Uzbek in Russian. This one speaks, I don't know. That one's, I don't know. There's the virus. Quarantine. Chinese
Alright.
and English.
We'll quarantine the staff you specified. Did you figure out what's causing the infection? Alright. We'll quarantine the staff you specified. Did you figure out what's causing the infection?
The only problem I have is I have people out on a mission that speak that language. So I'm gonna have to fucking figure out which ones those were in about a hot minute.
Alright. We'll quarantine the staff you specified.
Holy shit, there's so
Did
many.
you figure out what's causing the infection?
So do you see where my cursor is on the side?
On the side here.
It's fucking top. Like,
Alright. We'll quarantine the staff you specified. Did you figure out what's causing
dude,
the
there's no
infection?
way I'm going through all of these. Fuck that, they can just get sick and die. I'm just gonna power my way to that mission.
Boss, there's a target on the run somewhere on the savannah. Your job is to find and eliminate him. He's a logistics officer for the PF known as Rogue Coyote. On the side, however, he colluded with the Buta regime, abducting people from Mbele villages and supplying them as slave labor. That's right. He's a human trafficker. His
Human
victims
trafficker.
ended up all over the place. Brothels, black market, organ trade, diamond mines. And he was the one who sent Shabani and the other kids to the Devil's House. But then an Mbele rebel group finally added him to their hit list. The target decided it was time to quit, and now he's trying to leave the country. If he makes it back to his country, he'll be no more than a civilian, and he'll avoid facing a court-martial, like so many other war biz junkies. I'll bet he plans on enjoying a new live finance with his blood money. The client's order is to take him out. How you go about that is up to you, boss.
Yeah, no, those people can just get sick and die. I don't care, I'll just get more. My facilities might be a little fucked up for a little bit, but that just means once I land, I'm just gonna make them make a bunch of shit that I need right now, and I'm good for a while. Hunting down, flying.
Boss, the target is a PF logistics officer who works as a human trafficker on the side. The client wants him dead. He's currently on the run somewhere on the savannah with bodyguards.
You're gonna do the tech K
we don't
fight?
know what route they're taking. All we have to go on is a coded transmission sent by the PF at the Tati abandoned village. It appears to be a workup of the target's security plans, but to decipher it, we'll need an intel file with the encryption key. This key should be at the comms facility at the Ditati abandoned village. Check your iDroid to see what the target looks like, as well as the location of the village. Find a route. Find a man.
Be careful down there, boss.
Remember before, boss? When Quiet attacked one of our guys on Mother Base, stuck a knife in his mouth. He's one of the very few soldiers who've had contact with her recently. Close contact. I don't think it's a coincidence that he was among those who became symptomatic pretty early on in this epidemic. Saliva and blood spatter, an open wound, mucosal infection. Whatever is causing this got inside him then.
Miller, that is a baseless accusation.
The source of the infection is Quiet. Everyone suspects her.
We don't know that. And we've come across...
You made it to the Ditati abandoned village.
the body
That's where the enemy PF's coded transmission came from.
of people in the bed.
There's got to be a transmitter there somewhere. It could have the intel file containing the encryption key. Look for an antenna.
From elsewhere. But at the very least, she does know something.
It's not like she's gonna talk.
No, not through words anyway. But what about her actions? Quiet held a knife to that soldier back then, before he became symptomatic. There must have been a reason for that.
A reason for shoving a knife down the throat of one of our men.
What if she's capable of identifying who's infected? What if she was trying to stop the infection but couldn't communicate that to us? The answer to that, the source of the infection, might be in the mouths of the infected.
You think there's some kind of clue in their mouths?
I don't know. But maybe there's something about the mouths of those who've become symptomatic, something in common.
Something their mouths have in common. Forget it. We can't trust her. Even if she can spot the infected, I don't want her help.
I understand how you feel. But this is something to go on.
Can't you see it's just like I said? Bringing her here was a big mistake. Quiet is gonna be the end of us.
Stand down. You've got zero proof. Try to keep an open mind on this, boss. There has to be a way to identify who's infected.
Was a civilian abducted by the target. He says the trafficker is trying to make contact with a human rights NGO. He hopes that by handing over his list of buyers, they'll guarantee his safety. But I don't get it. Why an NGO? Why run to someone else for help?
I got them!
That prisoner we rescued provided some intel. According to this information, the target is headed for Gazeba Camp. We don't want him linking up with more enemy forces. You better hurry.
Boss, what happened? Boss!
The target is moving across the savannah. Find him and eliminate him. Unfortunately, we don't know what route they're taking. Find the route. Find the man. All we have to go on is a coded transmission sent by the PF at the Ditati abandoned village. It appears to be a workup of the target's security plans, but to decipher it, we'll need an intel file with the encryption key. This key should be at the comms facility at the Ditati abandoned village. Check your iDroid to see what the target looks like, as well as the location of the village. You made it to the Ditati abandoned village. That's where the enemy PF's coded transmission came from. There's got to be a transmitter there somewhere. It could have the intel file containing the encryption.
Fire!
Was a civilian abducted by the target. He says the trafficker is trying to make contact with a human rights NGO. He hopes that by handing over his list of buyers, they'll guarantee his safety. I don't get it. Why an NGO? Why run to someone else for help? Boss, that prisoner we rescued provided some intel. According to this information, the target is headed for Gazeba Camp.
They're dropping like flies, flying.
That's Kaziba Camp. CFA are stationed there, but there's no sign of activity for now. If you can find that intel file, it could give you a lead on him.
Oh, get it quiet.
Leave the rest.
Spit it out.
A prisoner. He might have some information. If you extract him, we'll see what he knows.
Everything of mine's dying.
You gotta extract him. Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.